Have you ever felt like someone likes you, but they're doing everything possible to hide it? Not obvious flirting, not clear signals, just small moments. A look that lingers half a second too long. A strange mix of distance and attention, and you walk away thinking, was that real, or am I imagining it? Here's the truth. Attraction doesn't always show up as confidence. Sometimes it shows up as psychological armor. Because when someone is attracted to you, they're not just risking rejection, they're risking being seen. So instead of obvious signals, what you get are hidden behaviors. Tiny leaks in the emotional system. And if you know what to look for, you can read them. Here are 7 signs she's secretly attracted to you, but hiding it well. 1. She tries to act normal, but becomes slightly different around you. Picture this. She's relaxed around everyone else, laughing, talking easily, being herself. But the moment you enter the conversation, something changes. She suddenly adjusts her posture, fixes her hair, becomes slightly more aware of herself, not dramatically, just enough that you notice the shift. That's not random, that's attraction activating self-awareness. When someone is drawn to you, their brain starts running a quiet calculation. How do I look right now? Did that sound weird? Did he notice that? Your presence becomes psychological spotlight, and when someone feels seen, they instinctively adjust their behavior. It's subtle, but it's real. 2. She playfully teases you more than others. Here's something most people misunderstand. Attraction doesn't always look like sweetness. Sometimes it looks like playful challenge. She jokes about you, mocks you lightly, calls out something silly you said, but there's no real hostility. Instead, there's a spark behind it. That's because teasing is often social flirting in disguise. It creates tension, it builds playful energy, and most importantly, it allows her to interact with you without openly revealing attraction. Think of it like emotional camouflage. She gets connection, but she still protects herself. 3. She notices small details about you. This one is powerful. Because attention is a form of emotional investment, maybe she remembers something you mentioned weeks ago. Your favorite music, a random story about your childhood, the way you take your coffee. And you think, wait, how did she remember that? Simple. Because when someone is attracted to you, their brain quietly puts you on priority radar. You become signal, everything else becomes noise. And suddenly, the smallest things about you start sticking in memory, not intentionally, just naturally. 4. She looks at you, then quickly looks away. You've probably experienced this moment. You glance across the room and you catch her looking at you for a split second. Then she immediately looks away, almost like she got caught doing something. That reaction is classic, because eye contact is one of the most vulnerable signals of attraction. It exposes attention, interest, curiosity, and when someone isn't ready to reveal those feelings yet, they instinctively retreat. So the look disappears, but the moment still happened. 5. She finds reasons to be near you. Attraction has a strange gravitational pull. People naturally drift toward what interests them, so suddenly she's nearby more often. Same group conversations, same spaces, same timing. Maybe she asks random questions. Maybe she joins discussions you're in. Maybe she walks past you more often than coincidence would suggest. It's not always planned, but the pattern appears because the human brain is constantly seeking proximity to emotional curiosity, and attraction creates curiosity. 6. She sometimes seems warm, then suddenly distant. This one confuses people the most. One day, she's engaged, laughing, talking, open. Then the next time, she feels colder, more reserved, like she pulled back. You're not imagining that shift. It often happens when someone is managing their own feelings. Attraction creates vulnerability, and vulnerability can trigger protective instincts, so they lean in, then pull back, lean in, then retreat. Not because they don't like you, but because they're deciding how much of themselves to reveal. It's emotional self-defense. 7. Her energy changes when you talk to other people. You might notice something subtle. You're talking to someone else, laughing, maybe even flirting a little, and suddenly, her energy shifts. She becomes quieter, more observant, slightly more distant. Not dramatic jealousy, just a small emotional ripple, because attraction quietly creates attention ownership, not in a controlling way, but in a psychological way. When someone likes you, part of them notices when your attention moves elsewhere, even if they never say a word. The deeper truth about hidden attraction. Here's the part most people miss. Attraction isn't always loud. Sometimes it's cautious. Sometimes it's protected. Sometimes it's hiding behind humor, distance, or composure. Because liking someone means stepping into uncertainty, and humans are wired to protect themselves from emotional risk. So if you've ever felt like someone was sending mixed signals, you're not crazy. You're just noticing the complex language of human behavior. And once you understand that language, you start seeing patterns everywhere. Closing thought, but here's the most important thing to remember. Hidden attraction isn't a guarantee of connection. It's just a signal, a possibility, a door slightly open. What happens next depends on something much more powerful than signals, emotional courage. Because sometimes the strongest move isn't decoding attraction, it's creating a moment where honesty feels safe. And when that happens, the signals stop being hidden.